US spent money, and they spent money on the war effort, and they spent some money on media and civil society and women and many other things. But they did not invest in Afghanistan. They did not invest even in democracy. They did not invest in the institutions of democracy. They invested in a few civil society institutions. They did not invest in trade. They spent a lot of money. That money went into a gravy train of a large number of both US contractors and Afghan contractors, opportunists, power brokers. So actually, the failure was right from the beginning. The Americans never made two bones about it. They were very clear that they intervened to eliminate Al-Qaeda and international terrorism. They didn't say that they were there to liberate the Afghans from the Taliban. So to that extent, you have to be fair to them. But this operation cleaning up Al-Qaeda took them 10 years to even find Osama bin Laden and actually reach some stage where you could theoretically say that Al-Qaeda is eliminated. But second, they also came face to face with the reality that Al-Qaeda came out of something, or the Al-Qaeda's presence there came out of something, came out of the growth of radicalism that had been promoted and exported from Pakistan. So in fact, at the same time, they ran into the Iraq war. And in the second phase, what they effectively did was, from the lessons that they learned from the Iraq war, they entered a second stage of the, so to say, US military presence in Afghanistan, which was a counterinsurgency operation. So from counterterrorism, they came to counterinsurgency. This was around the time that President Obama came to power. In fact, during his campaign trail, his logic was that Iraq is a war of choice, Afghanistan is a war of necessity, but the locus, the source, the origin of the war is in Pakistan. And that is why he came up with the mandate for Richard Holbrooke, the AFPAC mandate. Now, as usual, Bush also had realized that Pakistan is the root cause of the problem. Obama realized this. President Trump, in his South Asia strategy of August 2017, came to the same conclusion. He specifically named and very strongly named Pakistan. But for some reason, none of the American administrations were able to pursue. Their military commanders, their defense secretaries knew that, but they were not able to pursue the logic of that, so to say, discovery to its final conclusion by the use of coercive diplomacy, something that President Karzai had been pleading for years with the Americans. Why are you fighting in Afghanistan? The war is actually starting from Pakistan. They did not invest even in democracy. They did not invest in the institutions of democracy. They invested in a few civil society institutions. They did not invest in trade. If, for example, they had wanted to invest in trade, they should have pushed Pakistan, particularly during the Holbrooke mandate, to open two-way transit trade between India, Afghanistan, and Pakistan, meaning from India to Afghanistan through Pakistan. They spent a lot of money. That money went into a gravy train of a large number of both US contractors and Afghan contractors, opportunists, power brokers. And the reason for that was, and it was also implicit in my previous remarks, that they never thought of Afghanistan in terms of its strategic importance, the way the rest of the region does when we talk about the heart of Asia and so on. And because of that, they did not look for actually they wasted opportunities. If you're thinking in terms of an American kind of strategic thinking, they wasted opportunities that they could have used in the region, both for the development of Afghanistan as well as for greater stabilization of the region. But and so effectively they said, all right, we are pulling out. This government is corrupt, etc., etc. We are pulling out, and now your security from the Taliban, or whether there's a civil war or whatever it is your headache. It's your problem. The problem with this is that it places everyone, the Central Asian republics, India, the Afghans themselves, most of all, as purely collateral damage. The malicious interpretation of this is that the Americans deliberately actually facilitated the return of the Taliban to destabilize the region for their strategic rivals. On the face of it, it is quite baffling that the United States should try to contain China everywhere, particularly in the Indo-Pacific, but give them a virtual strategic pass in Central Asia. And for a long time, I was quite puzzled by why this is happening. But, I'm just hypothesizing here. The possibility is that, in fact, they were not giving them a strategic pass. They were trying to lure them, just as they lured the Soviets into Afghanistan at an earlier level. In other words, a new bear trap, this time for the Chinese. We bet on a progressive Afghanistan, and I think we got the dividends from a progressive Afghanistan over the last 25 years. Suddenly switching horses, you will be neither here nor there. As I said, you will be trading a bird in the hand for two in the enemy's bush. And we hoped that democracy would be an antidote for extremism. Clearly, the way democracy was practiced in Afghanistan has not led to that. We tried our best to do whatever we can within that umbrella. And what we used that was to strengthen and develop and re-energize our people-to-people relationship. President Karzai used to say that $1 from India was worth $100 from the United States.